The Torah says, "Shoftim yeshotrim titen lecha b'chal sha'arecha." You should appoint judges and policemen in your gates. There should be accountability within the Jewish people. So as I stand here on the eve of my last Shabbat in Israel, I want to share with you a beautiful story. I loved schmoozing with bus drivers and cab drivers here in Israel. They look like simple people, but they have incredible stories, heroic stories. And I was on a bus a few days ago, and I had a driver, Yair, a beautiful Saba, 2 grandchildren. He has them taped up on his bus window, and I sat in the front. I started schmoozing with him, and he tells me he's very shy. He doesn't want to talk about himself. I said, "Come on, tell me one thing that you learned about growing up in Israel." He said, "What I learned," he said, "I fought in the immediate past 5 wars that Israel had. First, they fought a second, cast lead, protective edge, fought in Yom Kippur War." He's in his mid-60s. He just retired from the Miluim, the reserves, 2 years ago. His 2 children are in the army also. And I said, "Wow, tell me some stories of the front lines. I'm very interested in Israeli history." He said, "Nah, he wasn't interested." But what he was interested in telling me about, one of the greatest achievements of his life, he took out his phone and he showed me pictures. He was one of the first IDF soldiers to go into Ethiopia and to bring all the Ethiopians back to Israel as part of Operation Solomon, the great operation that brought thousands of Ethiopians to their homeland, back to Israel. And he was in tears that he was showing me pictures on his phone with him on the airplane, much younger looking Yair in the 70s, helping them get into their plane. He said, "This was the greatest moment of my life." I said, "Really? Not defending your homeland?" He's like, "There's many people who could pick up a gun. But how many people can there be a nation that brings people from other countries specifically to bring them to Eretz Yisrael, to the land of Israel?" This is the power of the Jewish people. He's accountable for the Jewish people. Shoftim v'shotrim, the Torah tells us in this week's Parsha, we are all accountable for each other. We all feel this bond of accountability, this bond of unity that Yair showed me. And we were both in tears as I was looking in the pictures on his phone from the 80s, from Operation Solomon. May it be a merit for him and his family, for the entire Jewish people. And for the last time, for now, Shabbat Shalom from the Holy Land.